MegaHerzzz. MegaHerzzz. You're listening to MegaHerzzz on 4ZZZ.
Hey, you're listening to MegaHerzzz here on 4ZZZ 102.1. Hi,
welcome to MegaHerzzz. I am Sarah, and my pronouns are they, them.
And my name is Klaire. My pronouns are she, her.
And, first thing, as always, we would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land that we're broadcasting from here in Mugginjin, and the Turrbal and the Yagara people, and also, to all of the First Nations people that our airwaves do reach out to. We've got the Quandamooka people, Gubbi people, and look, I mean, we're available on the internet now, so First Nations people all over the world. So acknowledge and respect to you all, and thank you for listening.
How great was transmission just then?
It was so good. I really appreciated the conversation there about pronouns and also about, how to compliment people. I think that is something that applies to absolutely everyone. I think, I was actually listening to that discussion going, it's so often we compliment people based on their body type or or something they have absolutely no control over. And you're like, oh, well, thanks, but I have zero control over this. So, I mean, thank you, genetics or whatever. but so much better to compliment people based on something that, is their actual choice that you can, because you're saying, I see you and I see your personality here. I see your effort.
About, like, their individuality.
Yeah. Not just, hey, good job not being fat. And I think that really applies in a feminist context as well. So much of the, the compliments that we give to people are based on body image alone. And so, and even though you're saying something intending to be nice, it's still, even though you're saying, hey, you look good, essentially, you're still reinforcing that what I value about you is how your body looks. Yeah. And I think that, even when you're trying to be nice, that's not a great message long term to be giving to people. Exactly. So thank you, Transmission, for bringing up such great content and great discussion. Always great discussions.
So fun. And later on in our show, we're going to have some special guests on this show. Yeah, we'll have an interview coming up later.
We have Rachel and Patience from the Flower Puppy Show coming in to hang out and talk about their new show, which is very, very exciting.
So exciting. So definitely stick around for that. And just a special shout out to Paul from Fairfield, who just subscribed.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, thank you, Paul from Fairfield. And if you want to support 4ZZZ, feel free to subscribe. There's a bunch of different rates. I think you can subscribe your pet. You can subscribe with the concession rate. There's lots of options. Have a look on the website, 4ZZZ.
I'm a big fan of the passionate subscriber because I know I shouldn't be so consumerist, but I love getting the T-shirt. I have a collection of them now, and I love getting the T-shirt. And I love seeing other people with the passionate subscriber T-shirt because when I'm out and about and I see someone, I go, ooh, you're a passionate subscriber.
I love spotting like the 4% like bumper stickers on the cars. You're just like in the car, you're like, I see you.
Yes. So be seen and be a subscriber and help contribute to community radio and keep a diversity of voices on the air.
Absolutely, yeah. I feel like good community radio is something that's very special. So it's good to have this here in Queensland.
Absolutely, yeah. Wherever you are, listen to community radio. Yeah. But if you're here and you can hear us, thank you, and thank you for subscribing.
Yeah. Here at MegaHerzzz, every week we have a commitment to report on femicide because we feel like it's such an important and such an unspoken about topic in mainstream media. even on like some like more like progressive medias, they don't really report too much on it. So we try to do a report every week, and we get our information from Sherele Moody, who's been doing a lot of really important work here in Australia, trying to get, you know, some like more action and inquest and reporting on all of these femicide cases. But this will be a bit of a heavy segment, so feel free to tune out for a few minutes and tune back in later if this is a heavy topic for you.
Absolutely, do practice that self-care, but yes, so we are grateful that there have been no new reported femicides this week, and we're also grateful to Sherele Moody for collecting the information. A lot of the time when we do report what's happening each week with femicides, a lot of the time it is fresh news, so we don't have a lot of details about about the women that have been murdered or allegedly murdered or unlawfully killed, and so we are able to give you a bit more information on some of the past femicides that and again, this is also thank you to Sherele Moody's reports, which it is often really hard to get this information. That is one of the reasons why it is underreported, is because there isn't any readily available information source. So it actually takes a lot of work for Sherele to gather all of this. So we are able to report that Anne-Marie Joy, who was 30 and killed in an incident on the Tonkin Highway in WA, so we were able to tell you her name, and that she was the backbone of the family, and that she left behind a 2-year-old daughter, as well as her husband, Sarath, who was also injured in the car accident, but he's recovering in hospital, and she was the 40th woman to be killed in 2026. Elaine G was the 41st woman killed in 2026, and she was killed by a man who drove his vehicle into hers in Lagana in Tasmania. And she has left behind her husband and 2 young sons. Shortly before driving into Elaine's car, her alleged killer, who is a repeated domestic violence offender, did stab a woman in Exeter in Tasmania, but she remains in hospital with critical injuries. Can also report that the 42nd woman killed this year was Brooke Stevens, and she was allegedly killed by her partner, Jordan Turney, and her family says that Brooke had her whole life ahead of her and deserved the chance to watch her children grow as she experienced all the beautiful moments still to come. She was a devoted mother whose children were her whole world, a much-loved daughter and sister, and an incredible auntie who adored her family deeply. Brooke had a huge passion for basketball and especially loved coaching. She gave so much of her time and heart to the sport and to the people she coached, encouraging and supporting those around her. And just wanted to note that the media coverage for Brooke has been really focusing on her alleged killer and not on Brooke as a person, and more about his feelings and how he feels, and not that he had a history of domestic violence or anything about what that gap is in the community that he has created by taking Brooke's life. So so thank you to Sherele Moody for providing us with that information, and also thank you and shout out to our co-host August, who is not able to be in the studio today, but did a great job of compiling that information for us. So thank you, August, as well, and we will see you. We'll see you hopefully back here next week.
Yeah, and if any of that information was kind of very sensitive and heavy, and if you feel like you need some support, there are some support lines you could call. So there's a 1-800-RESPECT line, which is 1-800-737-732, or there's a DV Connect Women's line, 1-800-811-811, or the men's line, 1-800-600-636.
Sick of carrying a boombox everywhere you go? But miss your beloved 4ZZZ shows when you leave it behind? Get the Community Radio Plus app from your phone's app store now. It's 15% smaller than the average app and packed with at least 500 times more attitude, 500 times more independent journalism, 500 times more local and Aussie music, 500 times more representation of subcultures. Download Community Radio Plus and save for ZZZ and Z Digital as favorites using this little red heart icon now. But wait, there's more! If you install Community Radio Plus in the next 5 minutes, you will get a free dose of warm inner glow. Get Community Radio Plus from your app store now.
And we have some special guests in the show today in the studio. We have Patience Hodgson and Rachel Burke, who have come in to talk about Flower Puppy Show, and we are so excited. And look, awesome. I'm going to set the scene for everybody listening, because it was really hard not to be distracted when you came in, because you're wearing these most amazing, colourful, textured, floral, lacy outfits with matching like, puppy hats, bonnets,
puppy
with
bonnets.
puppy
So
bonnets.
cute.
And this is just the cutest thing. And look, if that doesn't make you want to go and see Flower Puppy Show, I don't know what is, because it is going to be visually spectacular, if nothing else, because this is amazing.
Oh, we really, as we came in, I was like, you know what? Nobody dresses for the eyes of the radio host. We have to dress for your eyeballs.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
I feel so privileged now.
Well, Rachel's made, 25 individual outfits for this
Like
show.
handmade?
Yeah, all handmade.
gosh.
So this is the real little taste, and we've tried to make them all very detailed.
Yeah.
You know, had some deep rhinestone support from Patience and others, but we've tried to keep it really DIY, really like push the limits of what we can make amongst ourselves, and the same with the set. Everything's super handmade, which is really cool.
Is this a two-person show, or do you have other 25 other people wearing these costumes, or are we talking about, there's going to be 12 and a half costume changes?
Well, it works really. There is 12 and a half costumes. There are some other people in the show. We have some people in the band, as you would say. Tom Fletcher and Joel Woods playing the instruments. And then we also have a yo-yo artist, which is extremely exciting. But we're doing the
That's really giving it away.
Is it? Is that a reveal?
Because to me, I've been keeping it in, because I think it's going to blow. I think it's going to blow brains. I think
I'm blown
brains
away.
will be blowing.
And have I blown it? I've revealed too much.
No, don't keep that to yourself. That is something the world needs to know.
It is a draw card. Why am I
Everyone's
holding
gonna
that?
come.
Don't hold back.
I'm pretty sure if we're not going to hold back, I think there's a world first exclusive happening on stage. I don't know for sure, but theremin, yo-yo extraordinaire, clarinet, classical guitar, all on the stage at once.
Oh my gosh,
I'm like, how often do you see that?
What's that?
Maybe never.
Exactly.
I haven't looked up, but I'm like, it's a
it
world
could be a
first.
world first.
Guinness World Record.
I was alive for the yo-yo craze of the 80s, and I do remember, seeing yo-yo on stage, seeing a lot of the trick, walk the dog, the cradle thing around the world, but not with a theremin.
Not with a theremin in tow.
I wasn't alive for the theremin craze of the 60s. So
I've actually learned a lot about yo-yos since we've got Ben to come on the show and do yo-yos. I did not realise this, but you can only, how like guitarists on stage, it's different for everybody, but a lot of people change strings. Like if you're doing a big tour, you'll just play one show, you'll change strings. Same for the yo-yo.
Oh, I do
they
love
change
that.
it?
Yes, and also changing yo-yo as well, like the shell of the yo-yo as well.
I do remember this from the great 80s. 80s yo-yo craze. You have different strings for different tricks.
Yeah.
You do.
It's an art. Absolutely.
And they wear out. So he said that he can only get like 3 reliable hours out of a string.
Wow.
And then it's time to change the string.
That is a busy string.
Yeah. So I've loved it. And the yo-yo that he's going to be playing on stage. And these is like, they're like $200 yo-yos. They are the instrument of the yo-yo person is the yo-yo.
Absolutely. That's so crazy.
Wow.
So world first yo-yo theremin, clarinet.
You heard it here first. Oh my God, exclusive
You
reveal.
guys got like a line out the door now.
That is amazing, and look, and we've got to talk about these costumes some more because so they're handmade.
Does it take you like forever to do
Yes,
them?
that is the question.
Yeah.
It does take a lot of time, but I am full-time sort of working on this stuff. But I really believe in putting the time in, sort of thing. And I've been really referencing like 70s craft and that sort of really detailed, approach that people really used to put the time into things. And I think it's really fun, even just walking around to get here. I mean, like you go to the shops, there's a real absence of colour at the moment. So I feel like this show as well, in developing this round of costumes, has also been like an active response to that, to be like, how whimsical, how delicious can we make everything? So it's definitely a labour of love, but my eyeballs are always craving the results. So
and it's like you're picking up the best of every decade. We've got the theremin from the 60s, the craft of the 70s. I can actually see like the tulle and stuff there. The yo-yo from the 80s. What do you got from the 90s? Anything?
Oh, well, some Meredith Brooks.
Some Meredith Brooks. Yeah. Some Meredith Brooks.
Yes.
So, I mean, there's still crafting happening. So, over the weekend, we had this really fun idea on Friday of having instead like a stool where the top spun. This is
Also
what Rachel and I do. World first. The lazy stoolsm, as we were calling her. Where we put a lazy Susan on top of a stool.
Yeah.
And it actually was working really well until I let my 8-year-old go on it this morning, and she tested it out and she broke it. But I tell you what, I will not be determined.
I think it was a good test.
It was a good test.
Reveal.
Better to do it off stage than on stage.
So hang on. What is the purpose of this lazy
it's a prop,
stool?
so you can sit on it, interact with it, spin around on it while you sing the 90s song.
Oh, you get that. And if you've got a guitar, you've got that
just do a little twist. Well, this is what we do. We get together, we have ideas. We're like, what about a theremin? And then it gets to happen, and then we feel like extremely powerful.
And then we say, what about a lazy Susan on a stool?
Manifested the theremin.
Yeah. We're manifesting the Thera women. Yeah.
That's right. We love to call it the Thera women.
The Thera woman. Yeah.
The Thera woman.
I love it. I absolutely love it. That's
Is this like the first show you guys done of this, or have you done some before?
We have worked together for many, many years, but this is and we did do Loverpalooza a few years back for Brisbane Festival together. And we used to work together on the Greats costumes back in the day. Yeah. But this is the first, truly, I think, collaborative theatre or music thing that we've worked on together. And I don't think it will be the last. Hey.
Yeah, because it's too fun. I love working with Rach.
Me too.
And it just feels so good to work on this. And it's especially given, there's so much, every time I pop on the internet, I'm just reading so many disastrous things about AI. And it feels really cool to be doing, just
something so deeply handmade.
Incredibly.
And we wanted it to be an active response to that, because we're just working on it together and creating it together. We were like, what is the capacity of what we can make? We're not doing production art, we're not getting things made elsewhere, we're doing it all ourselves, and therefore there's a really exciting cap almost there, but also we get to push ourselves to the limit. So it's and that is a response in this environment around AI, to be like, what can you do? And how that capacity and the cap of your capacity is really exciting.
And I feel like you've kind of found a way to lift that cap a bit by including audience participation and crafting into this show. So
with the workshop.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so
how does that work?
The show culminates, it goes for an hour, the main show, and then straight afterwards everyone can come. For this show we're doing rosette crafting at the end, and we want it to be like the show is kind of like a little bit of inspiration and gets everyone in the mood, and then ideally everyone's feeling so inspired that they can then participate and get tactile. We also, at the start of the show, I don't think this is a spoiler because it happened last time, have a theatre-wide game of pass the parcel, where it can be interactive, and we want the show to feel really generous as well. Like people are getting little treats, they're getting lots of goodies, as well as a treat for the eyeballs and the ears as well.
So Redown, the comedian Redown, is going to be running Pause the Parcel at the start, which is also really fun. So in saying that, I think we spent a lot of time, working on the show just the two of us. But then it's just been brilliant as well, because it's like it feels really small and isolated at moments, but then it does feel like it's part of a larger community, like having Ree come in, and then I've got, a friend of mine's daughter, she's coming and she's going to be doing a little bit of tap dancing, and then working with Joel and Tom in music. We've got our yo-yo guy.
My 7-year-old son made the house music for it. So.
Yeah, he's made the house music.
Beats.
And then friends, like you've got some of Rachel's oldest and closest mates coming on and helping with direction and doing a little bit of choreography.
Oh my God.
The most basic, because that is all we can do.
And we wanted to connect with that very DIY vaudeville theatre spirit as well, which is connecting with community as well. And that's why we think it's really important to have the craft as well, because we want everyone to feel like it's participatory and again, getting offline to do something with your hands.
Yeah, but it's
important.
just so joyful. I feel like there has to be an outlet afterwards, because there was a lot of talk of doing, there's do we do the workshop beforehand? But I feel like once you've been in the show and you've had the show, you're already friends. And then it's just such a joyful show that then afterwards the workshop element is just a place where you can talk and laugh, and then, people can be sitting side by side and connecting. You're already friends. You've been through something together.
That's so cool.
And then you get a little treat to take home.
It really feels like there's got to be a space afterwards where, there's just talking can happen.
Also, because some of the key inspiration for the show as well is a love for dogs. Not that you have to love dogs to see the show, but that was one of the key inspirations for doing this, was because we both actually lost beloved pets in the lead up to coming up with this idea. And so people have had the opportunity to send in photos of their dogs to be included in some of the set and the dog bunting. So that's the other thing, that people also connect over these memories of beloved pets that they've lost. And there actually is a lot of conversation about oh my God, I had forgotten about that dog, or it's like a bit of a cathartic thing for people as well. So it's cool that they get to, use craft as a catalyst for conversation,
Can you tell us a bit about the name, the Flower Puppy Show?
We love that it just is what it is.
It's a Flower Puppy Show. Yeah.
And I also love the idea of, because we have so much fun working together, and we have such a good friendship but work relationship. I love the idea of just being able to change that at any time. So it's the Flower Puppy Show, or it can be fork mashed potato show.
Or
it could be
Yo-Yo Theremin Show.
Yo-Yo Theremin Show.
I want to
Yo-Yo Therewoman Show.
But the inspo, though, for this specific show, it did happen in kind of a semi, there was some beautiful divine synchronicity there, where we had talked about how cool, because there's so many songs about both flowers and puppies, we were it'd be cool to do a show individually. You could do a whole show about particularly songs about flowers or songs about puppies. And then we found this really iconic $2 shop puppy hat, and we were and we bedazzled it, and we were oh, this is really cool and weirdly theatrical. And then it was you that said, no, what if it isn't just flower show or puppy show? It's Flower Puppy Show. And then incidentally, there's a lot of swap cards that have those, which is again very 60s, 70s sort of feel of those puppies and flowers. They're all so cute and kitsch. And we were oh my gosh, this is giving source material, and then the theme just became really inspiring. And so looking ahead and thinking how we can, maybe do this format again, it does lend so well to being Swan Bride show or whatnot. But keeping that, one thing we will say though is we want to really stick to what's great about this theme is that there is an element of aesthetic and heart there. The puppy is, I think that's why this has had, 4 legs, is because there is that element of heart connection with the being able to reflect on our love for dogs, which actually there's not a lot of spaces in which to do that. When we suffer through the grief of losing a pet, it can be really insular, and, people often don't understand because you're the only one that's shared that love for your dog. And so we're oh, how great if for this we could make a space. So that's going to be the challenge if we do more shows, of identifying that sort of heart line, which I think has been so integral to, this successful chapter of this show and it coming back. Yeah.
So Flower Puppy Show is on at the Powerhouse, and it is 3 days only.
Yeah.
Those 3 days are this squinting at the screen. This Thursday.
Thursday, Friday and Saturday.
Thursday, Friday and Saturday. And tickets are still available?
Yes. Friday and Saturday are really gone fast. So get in there if you wanted to come one of those days. And then, also we'll see you on opening night for Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday night. Yeah. Thursday I feel like it's going to be quite fun because it will be opening night and they'll have the real nerves.
The giddiness. Yeah.
And then we've got Auslan Interpreter
on Friday
night as well.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Big load in on Wednesday. Hopefully we can go in and set it up.
And if people can't make this one, is there any future show plans after this?
Look, we've got some conversations and dreams happening, and we definitely have some future plans. So I would just say stay tuned.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
I think though, even if we do future ones, it's like with Rachel making these outfits, and this is like, part of what you do in the world. Rachel is an amazing fashion designer and really just like, what do you call it? Like a multidisciplinary artist.
Multidisciplinary
artist.
Well,
totally.
That's one thing. We wanted each show to be extremely ephemeral. So even if you came to the first one, it's different to this version.
Yeah.
So if we do it again, and we are in some conversations about, what the next version might look like, we're maybe going to change the costumes each time. And also, like you're kind of saying, that allows me to also then sell some of these pieces after, but then also iterate so that each time does feel really special for audiences. And if they want to keep coming back, they can then expect that it will be a different version sort of thing. And that's also just cherishing our audiences too, and being like, what you're seeing this time is ephemeral, it's special, and that's a cool thing.
Which is, absolutely beautiful thing about live performance and theatre that AI can't.
AI could never do this show.
AI could never. I think we didn't mention though, but the first time we did this, we did actually do it in November at the Latvian Hall in Wollongabba.
Yeah.
So it was great. We had this idea, we wanted to get it done, and it was, I think it's like $90 an hour to hire. So we went to the Latvian Hall and they had a stage there, and
it was a great
let's do
thing
it.
about there's lots to talk about the creative process and that sort of thing. It was a great example of being like, sometimes do not wait for gatekeepers, don't wait for permission. It would be very hard to sell the concept of this idea, I guess, if you were like, so we've got an idea, flowers, puppies, let's go. And so it was like, let's not have to convince anybody, like let's really take the kind of power back, and yes, we'll fund it and do that sort of thing, but then we've got an example, we've got a showcase, and also we can test it out and see if this does have legs, as we can say, and the fact that it worked and that we're doing it again just feels so special because of that as well, because it was pure love and kind of creative force that brought that full show. And also I have to shout out to our gorgeous community and the people who came and support us, from the people who help us actually put it on, but also people who just come and support. Obviously there's a lot of conversation about supporting live theatre and music at the moment, and it's not lost on us, and that's why we're really focused on making a generous experience, because it is an exchange. We also feel so lucky and grateful to be able to perform, to be able to share our creativity and acknowledge that just their time and funds for coming to see it is not lost on us, that we are so grateful, and we were the first time and we are this time too, and it's cool to see people coming back, which is really cool.
So we are talking with Rachel and Patience from the Fancy Free Collective about their upcoming show, Flower Puppy Show.
MegaHerzzz. You're listening to MegaHerzzz on 4ZZZ.
that works.
You're listening to MegaHerzzz on 4ZZZ, and we do have Rachel Burke and Patience Hodgson in the studio, and we had to play our intro again and say, Patience, did you recognise that?
I did. I heard those burn bridges in the background there, which I think, actually really, that fits, with MegaHerzzz.
I agree.
Burn bridges.
Yeah.
It's, be loud, take up space, all of the things that we want to be doing.
So I've been an announcer here on MegaHerzzz for I think nearly 5 years now, and that was part of the intro. I've heard that every Monday for the last 5 years. So I don't know how long it has been the intro before that, but sometime between.
Even from before we wrote the song, I reckon.
Yeah. I think MegaHerzzz is actually.
We wrote it because of the theme.
This is the 51st year of MegaHerzzz, so I reckon maybe it's been around for 50 years.
Yeah,
so it's been
we owe you money. We owe you guys money. But it's really fun. I love that you had because I loved getting involved last year with like the 50th anniversary show. But I'm also stoked because you got your 51st.
Yeah.
I love that it's not just like saving it up for the big ones. Now we got also 5-1, very important number.
Yep.
Yeah. We also need another
every
gig.
year is a celebration. Absolutely.
Yeah. Hopefully, and there is the big the 51st Market Day coming up, and we mentioned going to have Barker and Shonen Knife.
Oh, these good. Is it at Roma Street, Parklands again? Where is it?
I believe it is.
Stunning.
Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
It was last year that, like at the 50th anniversary, that that was the first time I ever saw anyone play at Roma Street. But I don't know, because I think they shut it down at some stage and stopped having live performance in there, and it was amazing.
Yeah, great
Such
venue.
a great venue.
I wonder
That's
why they stopped.
Who knows?
Bring it back.
Well, it's back.
Maybe a
It's needed
future
for
flower
3ZZ.
puppy show.
Yeah.
Roma Street Parklands. Imagine that around there.
Beautiful. Open
Yeah.
air flower puppy show.
Yeah.
See another version.
Yeah.
Oh my God, imagine amongst the flowers. New Farm Park Rose Garden Edition.
Yeah.
Stunning.
This is, and we could, because there's also like this funny element to Flower Puppy Show before that I was thinking about when you were talking about, just sort of how we did the first one at the Latvian Hall. I always weirdly feel like there is a connection between like the punk roots of Brisbane and even still with Flower Puppy Show.
I agree.
Because I know that when you look at Flower Puppy Show and you don't think there's anything punk about it. But when I think back to the DIY roots that Brisbane just is, I know that is where I feel that connection, is that I feel like way in the beginning it was like, the greats, we would be burning our own CDs and making our own record. But it wasn't just us. Iron On were doing it, Scream Feeder. Like everyone was just sort of doing their own sort of DIY, off the grid, CDs and selling them and all sorts of things. And that it's sort of, it's got similar ties to me.
And we also, that's why we also think like the ethos of the show is important too. Because, like obviously lots of people are doing creative things, but we're like, like if you have an idea, don't think that it always has to be the most professional, like highly funded thing. Like you can take that power and put it into whatever visual or musical project that you want to do. Like you can do it. You could do it in your living room. Like you can make great art and grow where you're planted, sort of thing, instead of always feeling like there's a gatekeeper or you have to ask permission. Particularly that first thing, like something has to start somewhere. And, we're also like quite far into our careers as well. And still, I think that thing has to come back all the time to be like, you still need to focus on making the work that you want to make.
Yeah. And that's a really interesting point that, you are far on in your careers. You do have, an established base here. You do have some credibility in the industry, but you've made a deliberate choice to not go, whole polished commercial FM radio, whatever we, call it. Like, you're here with us on Triple Z community radio. You really, that DIY ethic, really, and I love that we're talking about punk DIY and we're looking at these beautiful, pretty flowers and pink and it is totally punk.
Yeah, and I will say though, shout out to the Powerhouse as well for supporting us for this, and we've had a beautiful support from Cassidy and George for being able to actually put on this show this time round, but particularly getting this off the ground and making it happen that first time as well, and getting to this stage. I think it really showed that you don't have to if you don't want to make the work, but if you do want to make something, like you have the power in your hands, and if you do have the privilege of energy, because acknowledging that can be hard, but if you do have a dream and it sounds so tacky to be like, if you have a dream in your heart, but like allow yourself to not be capped by almost these lofty goals. Like, you can start and set something that you can actually achieve. And I think that that's really exciting, because I think that sometimes big, crazy Hollywood dreams can almost hold people back to be like, actually, what would be something really cool that you can just make at your house, in your yard, at your local community hall? And these community halls need support as well. And it's like really cool to be like, how, what can that conversation look like? Hayao Miyazaki said, like, when you feel overwhelmed, focus on 5 meters in front of you. And I think that that's true to creative work as well, that it's like, what can I do in my radius, and with the means and resources that I have, even if that's capped at a small budget or medium budget, whatever it is. It's like, I think it's quite powerful to acknowledge that whatever your creative output is at that time is the right thing. And I'm super obsessed with creative thinking and that sort of stuff, and so much of it has come into play with this show.
And you mentioned like community halls, and we talked about the Latvian Centre, and I'm getting a sense that you're very familiar with some of the unusual performance spaces and different places that people can have gigs in and around Brisbane.
Yes.
And can we talk a bit more about about that?
I think a lot of them is just like what you see, and then just asking, because most of the time people will say yes. But I think I always find it really inspiring. I've got to meet Ixaris a few times. Did I pronounce their name right? I'm always like,
I am not in a position to correct you.
Ixaris?
I have no clue.
Okay. Well, they're like a Brisbane, sort of Brisbane singer-songwriter, and now they're over 18, but for a long time they were under 18, and just doing shows like at the skate park, at the park. And I remember back when I first met John Nalana, so John Nalana, who I was in the Greats with, they were playing skate parks. They were just playing parks. They were just sort of always out of the box, and I found them to be super inspiring. And there is, like, you really can you can do stuff just in public parks. You can do things and there's so many community halls. We've got the Russian, Russian community hall, Latvian community hall.
Also, I will say about these community halls, like, they have some amazing facilities.
Yeah,
that was a really, great, cool thing about the, Latvian hall specifically was, they had microphones, they had lighting rigs, they had all the chairs and, things like that. If you're, just starting from the ground up, that's where things can get really crazy expensive. But some of these halls already have the facilities which make it more possible as well if you want to, progress from the skate park and use one of these spaces. And they're not excessively expensive. They are more accessible.
And there's a cheaper space actually under the Latvian hall. So we were paying $90 an hour. But they were like, but if you'd like to use the basement. I didn't even know how much that it was like. That was much. We're like, no, with the lights, we want the microphones.
I will say too, I feel like
I don't know, basement gig. Sounds kind of cool.
Community hall, and I think we wanted to acknowledge too that there's something to be said for that specialness of the lo-fi, of not I feel like, again, we're always sold this dream that the most fancy thing is the goal, whereas actually it's like, we did a lot of research and we were very inspired by David Lynch and looking at this sort of work where it was like, there is something special about the what's the word I'm trying to say, being consciously lo-fi, and that actually being the goal of, and also showing that human made, that I feel like there's something very 35 millimeter about it, using analog photography and that there's something special in that, and to really be leaning into that as opposed to the most slick thing.
Look, this sounds like it's so much fun, and so if people want to hear more, they can go to the show on Thursday for opening night, Friday and Saturday as well, and awesome to know that there will be an Auslan interpreter on the Friday night for anybody who would like to go and experience that. And if that is something that you would need or want or like, that's there for you as well. And so we have been talking with Patience and Rachel from the Fancy Free Collective about the Flower Puppy Show, and we are sadly out of time. We would love to keep going.
So thrilled that you could have us on. Thank you so much for having us on. It's been so long since I've been into Portugal. It's amazing as per always.
Oh, well, we love having you here. So thank you so much for coming in. Is there anything do you want to give a plug to, or anything Instagrams, anything you want to tell us about before you go?
No, just come along. There's tons of tickets for opening night. Go for that one. Get it, make it look full.
Sounds like it's going to be fun, opening night.
Isn't that what feminism is about?